Alright, solo leveling fans get ready because Season 2 is here and it's absolutely wild. If you thought Season 1 was crazy, well, buckle up because things just got a whole lot messier. Sung Jin-Woo, the weakest hunter turned literal god, has now become even more op and things are getting explosive, and I mean that literally. Let's dive into the madness of Solo Leveling Season 2 and break it down so you don't have to read all 100 chapters. So, after becoming the strongest hunter in the world at the end of Season 1, Sung Jin-Woo is now living the dream or nightmare, depending on how you look at it. He's got these insane powers, but with great power comes even greater problems. Jin-Woo is still trying to figure out how to manage his new abilities, including his shadow army, which is basically an army of zombie-like minions who obey his every command. Sounds cool, right? Until they start trying to steal your thunder. But, of course, he's still out here flexing on the entire world of hunters, taking down dungeons like their Sunday strolls. Jin-Woo is now the top dog, but the thing is, no one knows just how strong he is yet. So, what does he do? Well, he shows them. Meanwhile, new dungeons start popping up all over the world, and they're more dangerous than ever. We're talking about SS rank dungeons that are way beyond the average hunter's ability, and as usual, Jin-Woo is like, I got this. No big deal, right? Except, no one else has a clue how to handle these dungeons, and that's when the real chaos begins. But of course, Jin-Woo just casually strolls in, annihilates the monsters, and walks out like he's done his groceries. Oh, and did I mention? Jin-Woo has some pretty interesting enemies. Now, there's a whole new faction of hunters, some of them aware of his shadow powers. And, let's just say, not thrilled about it. You know, the usual, let's take down the god-level hero kinda thing. Classic anime. Okay, now it gets interesting. The gates start opening up again, but it's not just any normal. These are special gates connected to a whole different dimension, bringing some very unwelcome guests. We're talking about the monarchs, who are essentially like badass villains straight out of a nightmare. These beings are powerful and want to destroy the world, or at least remake it in their own image. And guess who's in the middle of this madness? Sung Jin-Woo. Of course, right? He's got a front row seat to the biggest interdimensional brawl ever, and naturally, he's like, I'm ready for this. So, he decides to take on the monarchs, who, spoiler alert, are much stronger than anything Jin-Woo's ever faced. Talk about raising the stakes. Now, this is where things get seriously crazy. Jin-Woo discovers that there's a greater force at play. He's not just some random hero in the world. It turns out, he's actually part of a bigger destiny. He's the Shadow Sovereign, which is basically the king of the Shadow Army, and it's this new power that's going to give him the edge against the monarchs. But, oh boy, the power struggles between the monarchs and the rulers are about to blow up. Jin-Woo becomes the key to tipping the balance of power. And while he's growing more powerful by the day, his emotional growth is also tested. He's realizing that his decisions, like keeping his enemies close, could lead to some serious consequences in the future. And it's not just about power anymore, it's about what he's willing to sacrifice. Now let's talk about some of the new faces that show up. The antique shop, a mysterious place full of magical items and shady deals, is where Jin-Woo meets some interesting new allies. Enter the mysterious characters, one of them being a super powerful figure who knows a lot more about the monarchs than Jin-Woo realizes. And let me tell you, this guy has some secrets. These new allies and foes start to pull Jin-Woo into a much bigger game than he anticipated. The ancient powers are stirring, and they are not happy that Jin-Woo's getting too close to their plans. But, as always, Jin-Woo's like, I'll handle it, no big deal, while we all sit here like, oh boy, Jin-Woo's about to make things even more complicated. Now, brace yourselves because it's time for the final showdown. Jin-Woo's journey reaches an insane climax as he faces off against some of the most powerful monarchs. It's not just about raw power anymore, it's about Jin-Woo strategizing and learning how to play the game of interdimensional chess. The battles are fierce, emotional, and the stakes are at god tier levels. And, of course, Jin-Woo is not holding back. He's unleashing everything he's got: shadow army, new abilities, and his willpower to keep pushing forward. Will he win? Well, let's just say that nothing is ever that simple in this world. So, with the battle with the monarchs still looming and the mysterious ancient powers at play, Jin-Woo is far from done. He's still out here, fighting for not just his life, but the future of humanity itself. But the question is, can he handle this power? Or is he becoming too powerful for his own good? One thing's for sure, solo leveling isn't slowing down anytime soon. Want to see how the story unfolds next? Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below with your favorite Jin-Woo moment from Season 2. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. The Shadow Army charges forward against the demons as Regress unleashes his magic. He notes that his soldiers' numbers, intelligence, and his own power have grown. He wonders how long the big boss will just sit there. Suddenly, he leaps and vanishes, reappearing among the enemies. Shocked, Regress attacks, while Jin-Woo prepares for battle, demanding, "What have you done to them?" With a single punch, he sends the king flying, making him scream in pain. Jin-Woo realizes this is Cerberus's skill, the one who screams charges at terrifying speed. As the enemy relentlessly attacks, Jin-Woo calls for Iron's shield to defend himself. Jin-Woo attacks first, but the king reads his moves, making him even more dangerous. Jin-Woo realizes he must deal with the smaller boss, but first stops its erratic movements. He runs into a building, and the fight scenes here are intense. Finally, after trapping him, Jin-Woo lands a decisive strike to the neck, defeating him. Meanwhile, Dong-Su confronts Sang-Tu. Dong-Su mocks him, saying today's magic beasts even take human form. Sang-Tu insists he's not lying and offers a DNA test. Dong-Su, frustrated, calls his mission pointless. Sang-Tu then asks, "How much do humans really know about gates and magic beasts?" Dong-Su dismisses it as nonsense, but Sang-Tu warns that dungeons, gates, and beasts are just signs of an impending catastrophe. Dong-Su scoffs, saying humanity has countless hunters, but Sang-Tu warns that no matter how many gather, they won't stand a chance. They'll all be devoured, though Dong-Su himself has a bit of power. Dong-Su, furious, mocks Sang-Tu, saying even beasts like him have human names, a family, a child. He taunts, asking if he remembers his son's name. Sang-Tu replies Jin-Woo. Shocked, Dong-Su realizes Sang-Tu is Jin-Woo's father. Sang-Tu questions his murderous intent, but Dong-Su refuses to answer. When pressed, he coldly states Jin-Woo is dead. "And if you have any last words, you can go to hell and meet him. Tell him yourself." So here the aura of these two begins to release. On the other hand, we are shown again the scene of Jin-Woo. His army is moving forward. So basically, he defeated the guy on the 50th floor. Now he is moving forward. There is a skeletal king here. He defeats him. His level up is done. On the other hand, we are shown a scene of destruction where a building is destroyed. There are some firefighters here. There are some officials here. They say, "I have heard that whenever S-ranked hunters fight, then the entire area around him is destroyed by his power." On the other hand, we are shown the scene of Jin-Woo. His food is completely over, and he is on the 75th floor. There are 25 floors left. He has to go further. He doesn't have much time. He tells that he got this earring from Big Boss, who was on the 50th floor. He got this necklace from the skeleton who has just died. Both these items have very good effects. Now, according to what is shown on the display, it seems that there is one more boss left, which is level 2. Apart from this, there is an avaricious glass here, which is very good. But Jin-Woo is of no use, so he will give it to someone else. If this is with magic soldiers, then their power will increase a lot. Apart from that, there is this cursed random loot box here, which he chose in quest rewards.